Today, friends, I have a Tinkercad challenge where I give you a shape and you make it in Tinkercad. So let's get cracking. Step one, of course, is to visit the 3D design website, tinkercad.com. There is no install needed. Simply choose sign in with Google. Now, today we're going to hit create and we're going to hit 3D design. I like to start by having you name a project. We're going to call this one Chal for challenge, and then I'm going to put my initials, and you should put your initials. Before I show you the design, I'm going to give you a few basic steps. First, when you build with Tinkercad, generally we build with shapes. Notice I'm bringing this cube out. I'm dropping it in a 20 by 20 location. It landed exactly in the grid for those cubes. If we check its measurements, you can see it's 20 on a side. I'm going to show you one of my favorite tricks. It's called shift scale or shift stretch. If you grab a handle, hold down the shift key and stretch it, you can then type in the dimension you want the whole thing to be. I'm going to do 10 for 10 millimeters because I want you to know for the project we're using millimeters. So for what we're going to build, you could do Control D, Shift nudge, and just build it with single cubes. You could also build it with one cube where you changed the dimensions. I'm going to move that back into the grid because it's going to be nice to have these lined up with the grid. Notice you could change it by typing lengths over here, or you can change it by typing lengths here. I do want you to know when you change the lengths here, it breaks them over here. Notice the height now says 20, but really it's 10. Same thing if you stretch the handles. This is totally acceptable, but it breaks the parameters. I'm going to also show you quickly that we can add parts. You can see that this one adds to that edge. It's gonna be part of our project or one way to solve it, but I want you to know that you'll have to rotate it. When you rotate, I'm choosing to rotate it this way. There are 3 different choices. Each click, if you stay inside, is 22.5 degrees. If you come outside that circle or widget, it's 1 degree at a time. If you hold shift, it automatically goes to a 45-degree snap. Notice it is below 0. If you hit D to drop, it'll go to the right size. I will let you know you can add pieces, but you can also subtract them. If I make this a hole and I want to cut away a part, check this out. I can flip it so it'll cut away this corner. I will also show you quickly to align it. We can do L for align, click on the shape, and pick this corner and this corner for where we want it to line up. Then when you do Control G to union group, that cuts. You may recognize that in a minute when I show you the challenge. Of course, I do also want you to know you're allowed to use Sketch. You can actually find any tool in Tinkercad to try and solve the upcoming project. When you use Sketch, I highly recommend you check out the Sketch features. These are updated all the time. They have all kinds of sweet tricks that are going to make you better as a designer. Once you're done checking them out, you can always hit the X. They're still available. If you prefer my tutorials, you can use this bit.ly right here to find my full playlist. Now remember a minute ago I said we're going to do centimeters. Check this out. You can move along and bingo, make a 40 millimeter line. And then you can continue to build by just snapping your design however you need to finish the challenge. It is super slick. When you're done, you can hit finish sketch and bang, your part is made. Now, if you need to build this in 3D as well, check this out. Control D, and I want to move it up here. So I'm going to hit W for work plane and D for drop. So now I've got the same part on top. If I need to adjust it, I just double click and double click. I can hit number 4 to get into add and subtract mode. So now I can get rid of points. I got to hit V to cancel that, or you'll keep deleting. Notice you can grab entire lines, or you can simply grab points and move them where you want to build your part. When you hit finish sketch, you've got 2 pieces that can now work together. If I hit W and put the work plane back, when you're done, you can even take these and do Control G to make them look like a single part. All right, so here comes the challenge part. As you can see, I backed up to my tabs, and then we're going to use a bit.ly. It's bit.ly/HLCAD1. When you press enter, this shows you the challenge project. Now that we've got that open, we're simply going to open our real project. We are going to right click it and we're going to add a tab to a new split view. We can simply click over here on the Imager tab and bang, it is available for us to check out. I can move over to this one and I'm going to do Control Zoom to get it so the numbers are easier to read. Let's also go to full screen mode by hitting the dots and maximizing it. So here is your challenge. You need to make this part right here using these views. From the top, you can see that the design is 60 millimeters by 40 millimeters. There is a part right here that you can see highlighted, and then if you look over here, you can see it for real. You can also see this part right here. Notice everywhere you look, there are dimensions. So you know that this is 10 millimeters wide by 30 millimeters long. And then you can see that these are both 10. So you just need to calculate your shape by checking out all the dimensions. If you're ever confused about how far something is, just remember you need to do some math. Notice this corner is 0, so that means you go 10 in and 10 in to start the cube. You also know that it needs to be 10 down from the top. When you're done, you need to make sure your part looks exactly like this. While you're building, I will let you know that you can shrink this down to whatever size you want to give yourself more room to play. As you can tell, I solved mine completely with Sketch, but whichever way you solve it is absolutely fine. When you're done, if you would like to show me what you did, let me show you how to publish it. Simply click back on your Tinkercad dashboard. Click on your project, choose Properties, fill in the design name. Of course, this is where the initials, so I can tell who it is. Notice mine says there's going to be a tutorial coming soon. That's what I'm recording. There'll always be more data about me here as well. And then this is the important one. Add the tag HLMT23 and press enter. Finally, make your design public. And then we really don't want people to copy these. We'd rather have them solve it. So choose no derivatives. When you're done, simply hit Save Changes. Once you've made the design public, if you visit the gallery, to get more real estate, I'm going to go down here to the corner where Imager is, and I'm going to close this view because we no longer need that. Of course, when you check these out, make sure you take a moment to give them a reaction. Absolutely love that creation. Nice work, Tinkercad Empire. Of course, if you find one of my designs, reactions are always appreciated, and if you look down below, you'll quite often find a tutorial or other projects worth checking out. Real quickly though, let's shut off staff pics. This lets us see all of the recent designs that were shared. Once again, if you see one that's fantastic, make sure you take a moment to give it a reaction. These are always fun to check out, but I'm going to type HLMT 23 so we can see the cool things shared. Initially, it sorts by relevance. I like to switch to recent. Bang! There is the challenge by HLModTech and some awesome new projects. This one is by Xavier, and oh my gosh, it is Monopoly. How cool is that? We also have a fantastic dummy cannon that you can copy and tinker. Don't forget those reactions. A sweet entry for the Make It Heal Challenge by Pancake. And check this out, a Valentine's Day creation by CMF Design. That is awesome. Let's wrap up quickly. Friends, there's so many ways that you can solve this project and they're all awesome. The only incorrect solution is one where the dimensions are wrong. Whatever parts you come up with to solve it are fine as long as it looks like the design I shared. I would love to see the different ways you can solve it. Of course, I will be posting a solution with the traditional strategies. I will also post a solution for how to build it using Sketch. Of course, I am really looking forward to seeing your awesome solutions with the HLMT23 tag. I do also want to quickly say thank you to everybody that supports me via YouTube memberships. Don't forget there are 3 different levels of support starting as low as $5 a month. With any level of support, you get early access to videos. Also, make sure you pay attention for those members-only posts. A massive shout out as well to everybody that supports me via Patreon. Love how that group is growing. We are past 400 members. It has a fantastic messaging area where you can ask questions, post designs, gain skills. Of course, you can learn more with the bit.ly up above or the link in the description. Finally, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget every time you like, hype, share a video, add a comment down below, or click subscribe. You're helping HLModTech get just a little bigger, which absolutely makes my day. Friends, have a glorious day, and keep tinkering.